Now, a large new class of Madison police recruits begin field training. We introduce you to the record-breaking class. And a local church is celebrating 150 years, what it had to go through to get here. Plus, showing area kids what it takes to become an inventor. It's not just about learning science and technology.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for watching News 3 Now at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. Everybody is watching the weather as we head towards the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canulti with your first alert forecast.
Amanda, it's been very quiet this weekend, and tomorrow will be another quiet and mild day, but a storm system will affect us from later Tuesday into Wednesday, and another one toward the end of the holiday weekend. As we look at the time lapse from the WISC sky cam, we started out the morning with some sunshine, then some clouds moved in this afternoon. There even were a few showers, especially north of Madison, but towards sunset, the skies started to clear on the western horizon. High temperatures today were well into the 40s, 47 the high in Madison, La Crosse is at 43, Janesville 48, and Milwaukee at 51. Current temperatures are in the lower to middle 30s. These temperatures will fluctuate up and down a little bit, but snow is on the way for later Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. 1 to 3 inches north and west of Dane County with heavier amounts out toward La Crosse. You have travel plans in that area. Be prepared for some wintry travel conditions. But tomorrow, a pretty nice day. Skies will turn partly sunny, high at 47. I'll also take a look in the forecast about another storm system toward the end of the holiday weekend.
Thank you, Gary. The Madison Police Department's record-breaking class of 50 recruits are out on the road starting their field training. Madeline O'Neill caught up with an officer and a recruit. So, Maddie, what does this mean for the department and the community?
Well, Amanda, beyond former Chief Mike Koval, the Madison Police Department is dealing with a number of recent retirements. That just means a larger class of recruits to fill out the ranks and focusing on strategies to keep them around.
It's exciting. It is new.
It is a ton to learn.
Getting out on the road on patrol for the first time can be stressful.
I don't think that there is another experience that I can relate this to.
So having a longtime officer like Kim Allen to offer advice
Don't confuse stress with excitement.
Yeah, definitely.
helps pave the way for recruits like Fabiola Ortiz.
She said, don't mistake, my excitement for nerves. And that I think that was a lot to do with how I was feeling at the start. Now I'm definitely very excited every day. I think I'm a little bit more comfortable with it now, definitely.
Excited to drive a squad car, use the radio, and most of all, respond to calls.
The last one we were just on was a missing person.
You know that somebody is in need.
The record-breaking class of 50 new recruits will help current officers, too, who say they're feeling the effects of a lack of officers.
It can get stressful, but we got to get through it. We got to replace, those that have retired, and we need the strength out on the road.
To make sure the new recruits stick around, Allen says it's important to be there for them.
They have my phone number. They have my email.
Especially when they hit bumps in the road.
You try to make sure that they feel a part of the brotherhood or the family that's here.
That helps set the career path for officers like Ortiz, who's enjoying each step of field training before hitting the road on her own.
There, it's just that initial, hi, Officer Ortiz, Madison Police Department. Just that first line that gets engraved in you to actually use it. Things are going to go forward from that moment on, I think. That's a pretty good feeling.
The 50 recruits will be out doing field training until early February, and if that all goes well for the recruits, that's when they'll be out on their own, too.
All right. Thank you so much, Maddie. More local news now. Madison police are searching for a man involved in an East Side burglary last night. Officials got a call for a home burglary in the 4800 block of El Dorado Lane around 7 o'clock. The homeowner told police the suspect ran off to the south and jumped a fence. Police collected evidence and tried to use a canine to track him, but it was unsuccessful. The man is described as somewhere between 5'6" and 10", wearing a black hood and gray sweatpants. 3 teens were taken into custody after a nearly 2-mile car pursuit on Highway 151 early this morning. Officials say they spotted a car that had been reported stolen Friday. During a traffic stop, police say the 16-year-old driver drove off, starting the chase. The driver was taken to the Dane County Juvenile Reception Center, while 2 passengers were released to their respective guardians. The Dane County Sheriff's Office is still looking for an inmate who walked away from a work release facility yesterday. Rondino Fleming walked out of the Ferris Center, a minimum security facility on Rimrock Road. He was serving a 25-week sentence for battery, but is now considered AWOL, so will also face a felony escape charge. He was last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt and gray sweatpants. 4 people were shot during Wisconsin's deer hunting season opening weekend. DNR officials are asking the public for more information in one of those incidents where a man was shot while hunting in Washburn County today. 2 people shot themselves in their left foot in separate incidents in Oneida and Marathon counties, and a 19-year-old woman was shot by a hunter in Fond du Lac County. Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin is expressing her concerns about vaping and the future of the FDA. The Trump administration nominee for the next FDA commissioner stood before the Senate Health Committee earlier this week, and Senator Baldwin was prepared with questions for him. She asked nominee Dr. Stephen Hahn if he's ready to stand up to special interest groups, the vaping industry, and the president to end the vaping epidemic. Baldwin says she wants to make sure Hahn is qualified for the job.
Never had a role in government before, nor has he led an organization that deals with oversight and regulation. He has, however, run a very large health-related organization.
Baldwin says Hahn does have strengths, his experience as a cancer doctor and his focus on human and public health. Former New York City Mayor and billionaire Michael Bloomberg announced today he is seeking the Democratic nomination for president. His late entry throws a new twist in the race, and some of his new political rivals are raising concerns about his gaudy wealth.
Maybe the argument is, hey, I've got more money than the guy in the White House. I don't think they're going to buy that.
We do not believe that billionaires have the right to buy elections.
An advertisement that debuted tonight promises that under a Bloomberg presidency, the wealthy would pay more taxes and the middle class would get its fair share. At 77, Bloomberg would be the oldest president ever to enter the Oval Office. Navy Secretary Richard Spencer is out. It's still unclear whether Spencer was fired or resigned. This comes after the White House said it wouldn't intervene in a review of a Navy SEAL who posed with a dead ISIS fighter's body. Navy officials are looking into whether that SEAL, Eddie Gallagher, should be kicked out for his actions. Spencer is accused of going outside his chain of command by proposing a secret agreement with the White House to have Gallagher keep his status in the Navy. Last week, a Trump administration official said defense officials were worried President Trump would block the Navy from ejecting Gallagher from the SEALs. More than 3 million people lined the streets of Hong Kong today for the biggest election in the city's history. Voters turned out in record numbers, and while some votes are still being counted, it appears the pro-democracy opposition swept to a resounding victory. Rami Inocencino has more on the election widely considered a referendum on pro-democracy protests.
Lines all across Hong Kong were never the norm for local district council elections until now. Half a year of people power protests, eye-wincing police brutality, and violence from fringe protesters pushed an angry civil society to turn out. Alice and her 21-year-old son Adrian, a new voter, polled for pro-democracy candidates.
Do you think full democracy can be achieved?
No, that's something I want to believe in, but I know that the world is kind of cruel.
At this same station, Hong Kong's Beijing-backed leader Carrie Lam cast her vote and again pledged to listen to the people.
I appeal to all registered voters in Hong Kong to come out to cast your vote.
And they did, delivering a major rebuke to her government in a de facto referendum. Opposition politician Ted Hui won re-election.
After the elections today, what happens to the protest movement?
I think the protest will come back. The anger in the people hasn't subsided.
As ballots are counted overnight, Hong Kong will wake up Monday to a still uncertain future, now that a record number of people have turned their voices into votes. Rami Inocencio, CBS News, Hong Kong.
More than 2.9 million people took part in today's election with a turnout rate of 71.2%, a record high for Hong Kong. The Monona Terrace was home today to ordinary people who brought in their inventions that stemmed from STEM. The 4th annual Madison Mini Maker Fair allowed anyone to show off their scientific inventions, regardless of their experience with science, technology, engineering, or math. All of them showing off creativity. More than 60 people displayed a variety of inventions incorporating elements like food or art. Many of the makers say their goal is to inspire the next generation of inventors. It was all about girl power at the annual Madison's Women's Weekend. Over 120 exhibitors were at the Alliant Energy Center. The event, hosted by Brava Magazine, connects area women with local businesses and each other. Women were able to do holiday shopping and crafts, get health checks, and take part in makeover and spa services.
We didn't let them see themselves in any mirrors until they walked out on stage. And so it was fun to see the reveal and how, little things can make somebody's day. So it was fun.
We have created a full 2-day experience that is just for women to come out with their mom, girlfriends, sisters, and just have a day to yourself.
This year is the 21st year of the event. Still to come on News 3 Now at 10, a Wisconsin church only a few decades younger than the state of Wisconsin. See how a Paoli church is celebrating 150 years. A memorial service for former Madison Mayor Joel Skornica is set for 5 o'clock on Thursday, December 5th at the Olbrich Botanical Gardens. Skornica died last week of a suspected blood clot. He received a bachelor's degree in political science at UW-Madison in 1959 and served as an assistant chancellor before his term as mayor from 1979 to 83. St. William Church in Paoli celebrating 150 years today. The Catholic Church was founded in 1869, but services weren't always held in their current building. Gabriella Becerra attended this afternoon's anniversary mass and shares some of the church's history.
St. William Church is a place where parishioners come to hear the word of the Lord. And for some, like Mary Schaller,
I've been going here my whole life.
They grew up in this church.
I kind of feel like I want to come just because of the relatives.
Today, they're celebrating the long history of St. William Church.
Well, I thought it would be a very good idea because we haven't really done anything for such a long time. And it is a beautiful church. It does have some historic history to it.
Initially, German and Irish families attended Mass in a log cabin.
When the original people came here in the 1840s, 1850s, I mean, there wasn't a lot of stuff here. I mean, some big farms.
And then they moved somewhere bigger and moved again.
And at some point it got too small, so they built a church up at the St. William Cemetery. And in the 1900s, they decided that was too small.
The current church in Paoli was built in 1900, but just 25 years later, the building caught fire and burnt to the ground.
Basically burnt the church down. Everybody got stuff out of the church in time, so they saved all the interior stuff.
Months later, the church was rebuilt, and still to this day, families come to hear the word of the Lord. Gabriella Becerra, News 3 Now.
The building has many beautiful stained glass windows. All of them were made in Austria. Different families sponsored the windows. Mary Schaller's family has 2 windows in the church. Let's get a look at your first alert weather. Gary Canaldi is watching a storm that may impact your travel just before and after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, unfortunately, the timing on this is not going to be great. I think the bigger effects are going to be north and west of Madison. But let's start out by taking a look at 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Tomorrow should be a mild day, very quiet. The skies will be partly sunny. Temperatures will reach the upper 40s. But rain on Tuesday will change, starting late Tuesday afternoon, will mix with or change to snow Tuesday night, especially north and west of Madison. That's the area that's probably going to be impacted most, and this will be a windy storm system on Wednesday morning, too, even as the snow winds down. For Thanksgiving itself, it'll be a cloudy and quiet day, and then there'll be another storm system as we head into the end of the Thanksgiving weekend. So we have alert days in the forecast for Tuesday night and Wednesday. On Tuesday night, it'll become windy. That rain will mix with or change to snow north and west of Madison. Snow amounts probably 1 to 3 inches northwest of Dane County, but heavier amounts out toward La Crosse and the Twin Cities and Eau Claire. And then Wednesday morning, it'll be windy with the snow ending. There will be some travel impacts from the wind and the snow. Now, as we take a look at total snowfall across southern Wisconsin, much of the area from Madison to the south and east, if we see an inch, that will be a lot, and that'll be mainly maybe on the northern fringes of this if it gets cold enough. Otherwise, it'll be mainly rain here, with just maybe a mixture of rain and snow toward the end. The accumulating snow will be north and west of Dane County, from north of Prairie du Chien over toward Wisconsin Dells and up into central Wisconsin, and then heavier amounts as you get out toward La Crosse. And there might be a narrow band of about 6 inches or more from southeastern Minnesota through the Eau Claire area, and then up into the upper peninsula of Michigan, where some lake effect snow will kick in. There are winter storm watches in effect from Tuesday into Wednesday from basically northeastern Nebraska through about the northwestern third of Wisconsin and southeastern Minnesota. On future track, you can see the rain coming in on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, but notice where the rain snow line is, well north and west of Madison, and then eventually that will change back to some snow on the back end as the storm tracks literally right over southern Wisconsin. The winds shift around to the northwest and increase in speed. A little bit of light snow on Wednesday morning. It'll be windy, so the areas that do get some snow could have some problems with blowing and drifting. And then as the snow winds down on Wednesday after a high of 38, Thanksgiving Thursday will be quiet with cloudy skies, maybe a few flurries, a high of 36. The next storm system starts affecting us later on Friday with some rain, and we have an alert day in the forecast for next Sunday. By that time, that storm system will have changed over to all snow. I'm not looking for a heavy snow, but a persistent light snow through the day could give us several inches of accumulation. Friday afternoon, notice the easterly and southeasterly winds giving us rain. And then as we head into Saturday, that starts to shift over to snow by early on Sunday morning. Sunday, just light snow through the day, but for much of the day, and then things start to wind down after that. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. Quiet out here tonight. Skies are partly cloudy. And as we check out the almanac for today, the high temperature was above normal for the third day in a row. 47 the high, the low 30. And right now we're sitting at 33 degrees with mostly clear skies. The air is calm. So our forecast for tonight calls for skies to be partly cloudy. It'll be relatively mild for this time of year with a low of 32. And for tomorrow, look for a partly sunny and mild day. Our high temperature again right at 47 degrees. As we look at future track, notice partly cloudy skies tonight, temperatures in the lower 30s, high temperatures tomorrow in the upper 40s with a fair amount of sunshine through the day. Clouds start moving in tomorrow night, but it'll be dry for tomorrow night with a low of 30. And then the rain reaches us by Tuesday afternoon and then continues into Tuesday night and mixes with it changes to snow on the northern end of that. The 7 to 10 day forecast calls for that break for Thanksgiving itself with a high of 36. Then rain on Friday afternoon into Saturday, starts to change to snow by Saturday night and then Sunday. And then after that, cold weather with highs only in the 20s for the following week. We'll taste of winter there.
Coming back.
When we get some snow on the ground, that'll do it.
That'll do it. Thank you so much, Gary.
You're welcome.
Coming up on News 3 now at 10, the Badger women's soccer team trying to advance to the Elite 8. Highlights coming up next in sports.
Okay, so I'm now convinced that the Packers just don't like playing teams in California and against a player with the last name Bosa, because that's what happened 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles against the Chargers. And Well, tonight in San Francisco, not great either. This one just finishing up. The Packers had 0 points in the first half, managed a touchdown in the third quarter from Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams with a 2-point conversion, but too little too late. They were also just awful on third down, 1 for 15. Just a total tail kicking for the Packers tonight. On to some better things. More likely than not, last night was probably the final time we'll see Jonathan Taylor play at Camp Randall in a Badgers uniform. He's a junior this year, but with the season and the career he's had, it would be no surprise that he'll enter the NFL draft. So just in case, head coach Paul Chryst giving JT his moment yesterday, taking him out of the game in the fourth quarter to a loud ovation from the Camp Randall crowd. And he definitely took it all in, told us he was next to Chris Orr during jump around and really appreciated all the fans. But still, like any good player, he is focused on next weekend.
I didn't know, and I think that's why I was so shocked and appreciative, that they, allowed me to do that at the end, because I really didn't know what was going on. But really the biggest thing, once I got back in the locker room and, we got all excited over the win, and everybody's locked in on Minnesota now because we know it's a big one coming up. So we got to have our best week of preparation. We don't want to have it any other way. Big Ten West on the line, rivalry game, Axe. I mean, this is why you come to Wisconsin.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The Badgers women's soccer team in the Sweet 16 in Los Angeles facing UCLA. Scoreless in the second half. Mia Fischel hits the back of the net for the Bruins. 48th minute there. They're up 1-0. Then 5 minutes later, penalty kick, and UCLA striking again. Badgers lose 2-0 and are eliminated from the NCAA tournament. They finish the season 16-4-2 and as the second team in school history to go undefeated in conference play. At the Fieldhouse, the Badgers hosting the Huskers, the runners-up in last year's national championship. We pick it up in the third set. Check out Dana Retke here. The kill. 12 kills for her today, second on the team behind Molly Haggerty. Then we've got match point, and that was pretty easy. Wisconsin with a season sweep of Nebraska for the first time in school history. The Badgers tightening their grip on first place in the Big Ten with a 17-1 conference record. Head coach Kelly Sheffield very happy with the resilience of his team today.
What I loved best about today is after we made some errors, we came right back out and stuck a pass, made a good set, good swing over there. We didn't let one error turn into 2 or 3, and I thought the mental toughness that we had was fantastic.
And they've really had a phenomenal season this year. They've got 2 games left in the regular season, and then 1 week from today, they'll find out their NCAA tournament fate, but they're just 1 game away right now from clinching the Big Ten. And so just a lot of things going in their favor right now. They've got a lot of momentum going, and they haven't lost a single Big Ten game at home at the Fieldhouse this season. So very, very impressive for Kelly Sheffield's squad.
They're really exciting to watch.
Yeah,
I mean, even on TV, the scene there at the Fieldhouse looks super fun, but even just on TV, they're so exciting to watch.
Yeah, you might be able to sneak into a tournament game this year. It's just a wonderful atmosphere to be in. The fans are incredible at the volleyball games. You got to check it out if you haven't already.
All right, thanks so much. We'll be right back. This is Mr. Pig, and he has a new family. According to a Facebook post earlier today from the Rock County Sheriff's Office, Mr. Pig has new animal siblings and a family who has already fallen in love with him. 6-month-old Mr. Pig was found without any identifiers in the township of Avon almost 2 weeks ago, so they decided to just call him Mr. Pig. It's a pretty fitting name.
I like that face.
The name works, too. He looks like a Mr. Pig.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a little bigger, too, when he grows up. So.
Perhaps. Just a little.
Well, we're watching snow for late Tuesday into Wednesday, especially north and west of Madison. Temperatures right now are right around freezing, but that's what we're looking at across our viewing area. If you are traveling to the north and west, you can see the heaviest band of snow probably up toward Eau Claire, where winter storm watches are in effect. So traveling that way, keep that in mind for the next couple of days.
All right, thanks so much, and thanks for joining us. Have a great night.